Discovery, go at throttle up. Okay. Space and Rocket Review is about to start. Let me fire up the YouTube stream and then we'll go. Okay. Space and Rocket Review. It is February 12th, 2025. And we got a little bit of stuff today. We got a little bit of things to talk about. Some of it is kind of loud. But more or less we got a kind of a little bit of a lull after having Falcon 9 after Falcon 9 after Falcon 9 after Falcon 9 after Falcon 9 launch. It's pretty good. Okay, so let's dive in and see what's going on. Did you already catch the SLS layoffs? So fair, SLS layoffs haven't happened yet. Boeing said they might. Now, I don't know if I should say this. I talked to one of my buddies that works on it. Now keep in mind this is just one perspective from a person that I know that works in the program. That face says it all. He says it doesn't look good. And that really bummed me out. That really bummed me out. But what my buddy did say is that it wasn't, and keep in mind, this is this dude's personal opinion. This is not concrete, and I don't like sharing news like this so much, but I do get asked about this a lot. He said he doesn't think it's Constellation bad. Okay, I'll take that. That's fine. I'll take not Constellation bad. But we'll see. Yeah, it's acceptable. Yeah, Ryan, it's not, he said it's not good, it's not bad, which kind of shows me, or kind of tells me that contract restructuring seems to be the play from what I can surmise. So what, it's only 70 shuttle bad? I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, so far I did catch it, and, you know, who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway. Yeah, guys, I don't, we are entirely in a holding pattern here until Rook's confirmation. Like, everything is on hold. But what isn't on hold is drone ships coming in and out of Port Canaveral on NASA spaceflight. Look at that. On Space Coast Live, while Starbase is being worked on Space Coast Live, a shortfall of Gravitas is making its way out of the port, and Jacqueline is coming in port. Oh, that's actually super cool. Blue Origin's drone ship is passing one of SpaceX's drone ships, coming in and out of the port. Oh, that's pretty sick. Sorry, horrible pun to lighten the mood. Would that be considered a constellation prize? But shut up. What was Jacqueline doing? I don't know, Vasya. It's been a minute since... Huh. It's been out there for a month, huh? Interesting. No, it came back before. Oh, okay. I don't know. They're probably testing something. Yeah, maintaining diplomatic relations. You know, giving him the bird. Now we need a future shot of both drone ships bringing New Glenn and Falcon 9 back into the port. It'll happen. Why is Blue Origin's ship bigger? Do they have other things on it? New Glenn is a bigger rocket. That I would start there, Denny. A New Glenn core, like, first stage is not a Falcon 9 first stage. It's way bigger. So my guess is bigger. You're using a more complicated form of propellant, so you probably need different types of safing facilities, etc., etc. Bigger, more complicated mechanism with more complicated propellants. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way either. It's just a bigger rocket. It needs a bigger ship. She was sitting over at CT2, I think, for service. Oh, okay. They have big houses on the end of on both ends of Jacqueline. Yeah, there's like an office building attached to each side of that thing, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, in terms of outgoing and incoming missions, that Shortfall of Gravitas is going out for Starlink 12-8, which is scheduled on Saturday morning, but it's Friday night. So yeah, it's gonna head out to sea to catch booster. Hopefully, catch booster unknown vehicle. All right, cool. But anyway, while we're here, this is your launch forecast coming in for the next couple of days. There's not much until Friday, and then there's one on Monday, and then there's one on Tuesday. L57 is on Monday in the morning, and Starlink 1012 is on Tuesday. And then there's an Electron on Tuesday. Oh. Starlink 1012 and Electron, fasten your seatbelts, back to back. Starlink will probably push, but that's okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the regular bits of news here. NSF loves its late night Starlinks. Yep. So will Electron? Yeah, maybe. Need a Wallops launch. Yeah, I know. We're on a dry spell, huh? Yum food. Don't worry. When Neutron comes around. When there is a Starship launch, does the Star Factory get evacuated? Yes. It's too close. Well, yeah. Yeah, I would say yes. Yeah, it's a little on the close side. Let's just say I've seen cameras inside of structures that are very close to the launch when the Starship goes off, like remote cameras. Inside of like buildings that are near the pad. It gets a little violent. It looks like a 10.0 earthquake. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that there's probably not people in there. Maybe someday. But even then, it's going to shake the building pretty hard. I mean, Starship was shaking the building that I was standing on, and I was 6 miles away. And it was like, you could feel the building shaking. But anyway, let's jump into the news. Let's see what we got. So this first one is coming from Stoke Space. Stoke Space dropped this picture of their rocket engines on a trailer, actually. That is their first and second stage engines. Yes, you're looking at that right. First and second stage engines. Did I see the new SpaceX tweet with the static fire? Oh, don't worry. We're getting to that. Yep, that's their second stage engine. The second stage engine includes the heat shield. Basically, there's a heat shield built into the rocket engine, and the rocket engine moves its propellants through the heat shield and then out these little nozzles on the sides. Would you go down to Wallops to watch Neutron? Yeah, it's not that far away. Feels like an oversight. If the goal is to launch multiple times a day, having to evacuate the factory multiple times a day is quite the hindrance. I think we'll get to the point where that doesn't need to happen, Beading, but who knows? So yeah, that's their second stage engine. Note that Stoke Space is actually, this is the first and second stage engines for their Nova rocket. And the second stage engine is, these engines here are fully reusable. First stage comes down and lands, kind of like Falcon 9. And the second stage also comes down and lands, kind of like Falcon 9. But because it's coming back from orbit, the engine is shaped like a heat shield to make a fully reusable metallic heat shield to, during reentry. So yeah, that's a second stage engine. This is it. This is one motor. That's one upper stage engine right there. Stoke just made their engine heat shield shaped. Pretty cool. That's for the Nova rocket, which, I mean, these look like pretty dang high fidelity articles here. Still developmental, but yeah, those are definitely functional. Look at the first reply. Andromeda. Oh yeah, there's something that was carved into the metal there. Cool. Yep. Yeah, Love Eagle. That's right. That's the full flow on the left. Didn't Elon have Trump and guests on top of High Bay 2 for a launch? No. They were, the president and his entourage was down there for Flight 6, but they weren't on the High Bay. They just showed footage from the High Bay. Footage of them walking around in the High Bay. I'll show you where they were. They watched it from River, which is this place right here. This facility. You got a pretty dang good view. The launch site is, like, you can step out here and look that way, and the launch site's right there. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's about the same distance that I watched it from. South Padre Island's over here. Yeah. About the exact same distance. About 5 miles away, or about 7 kilometers. The full flow engine is named Zenith. Yeah, that's right. So I'll just leave Google Earth here because, yeah, we got a little bit more, and we're getting to some better stuff here in a moment. Let's see. Sierra Space here. Sierra Space is a company that's working on making Dream Chaser amongst other things. We've successfully completed the test campaign for our VR35K-A. Pretty sure I have a fax machine that was called that. Upper stage engine, securing a $16 million follow-on contract with the Air Force Research Laboratory. This new engine, featuring our patented Vortex technology, delivers 35,000 pounds of thrust with unprecedented efficiency and reliability. Hey, that's no slouch of an engine right there. 35,000 pounds of thrust, 155.68 kilonewtons. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I wonder what that's for. They said a $16 million follow-on contract with the Air Force Research Laboratory for making upper stage engines. Do they say what fuel it runs on? It's cryogenic, at least semi-cryogenic. There's a lot of ice floating around up here for it not to be. See all the insulated parts? I don't know. It's a fully cryogenic state. Well, I don't know if it's fully cryogenic. It's at the very least semi-cryogenic, meaning at the very least we have locks here. At the very least. Because see all the insulated components? Dead giveaway. But I didn't know to be honest with you, I didn't know Sierra Space was working on upper stage engines. I'm quite curious as to what they're working on upper stage engines for with this Air Force Research Laboratory thing. So let's take a look. The VR35Ka is a high-performance liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen engine. Whoa! Engine that employs a fuel-rich stage combustion cycle, an innovative turbo pump architecture, and a vortex.
This is Space.
Valkyrie! Hey, Phantom Whisker. Gifted a sub to Phantom Whiskers. Valkyrie, thank you. You had that sub yesterday, and then this today. You treated me too nice. You treated me too good. Well, yeah, hey, man, you want Dream Chaser to succeed so bad. Yeah, me too, man, me too. It's a Hydrolox engine, using a vortex combustion chamber to produce 35,000 pounds of thrust, 155 kilonewtons, at a higher performance than any engine currently on the market. Sierra Space's patented Vortex technology enables efficient and stable combustion while providing active cooling for the combustion chamber, ensuring high performance and reliability. Additional key attributes for VR35K include Simplified operation. A single shaft turbo pump assembly for streamlined functionality, including startup and shutdown. Whoa. Single shaft turbo pump for hydrolox applications that's complicated. That's hard to do. Just because of the differential rates that your fuel impellers need to drive at. So like if you're using liquid hydrogen, you're using liquid oxygen, you have pumps, right? And those pumps need to deliver fuel at the right mixture for the rocket engine to work, right? Usually on hydrolox engines, you have impellers that are working at very differential speeds, normally requiring separated impeller fuel pumps. So let's take the shuttle engine, for instance. You have a high pressure hydrogen turbo pump and a high pressure oxidizer turbo pump. Those twin power heads go into the main combustion chamber. They're kind of tilted off to the sides like this that go into the engine. You need them to be on different shafts because of the different speeds that they spin at. Now, there are other engines that have solved this problem in different ways. RL10s also have your pumps on different shafts. But what the RL10 does is utilizes a gearbox. See right here? There's a gear set right here on your hydrogen turbine, and then actually a transmission that goes to another gear here that drives your LOX impeller over here. So RL10s overcame that huge differential RPM with a transmission. Yes, you heard that right. The RL10 has a transmission attached to the side. Okay? Such an engine is known as the turbo encabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved here, instead of the relative motions of conductors and fluxes, it's employed by the modal interaction of magnetoreluctance and capacitive directance. Yep. Yeah, RL10s have gearboxes, every single one of them. So, for Sierra Space to make a single shaft turbo pump hydrolox engine is actually pretty trick. That's kind of a big deal. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is going to change everything, but that's hard to do. That's not an easy thing to do. So mechanically coupled mixture ratio control. What the frick? Mechanically coupled mixture ratio control. They're using a... Wait, how the hell would you do that with a single shaft turbine assembly? Did it fix the side fumbling? Yes, it was effectively prevented. Oh, yeah, here you go. RL10 turbo pump cutaway. There's your impeller. Right there, and like I said, there's your gearbox. Well, the VR35 doesn't seem to use a gearbox. The RL10 does. But see, that shows you the differential RPM between hydrogen and liquid oxygen that you need for a hydrolox application. Super cool. So that's your liquid oxygen impeller right here, and that's your liquid hydrogen impeller right there. What's the RPM on this sucker at full throttle? I don't know. It's in the 5 digits. RL10 is classified as a single shaft turbo as far as I understand. Is it, Rocket Guy? Because if it is, then this makes a lot more sense.
Discovery.
Because they said they have a mechanically coupled mixture ratio control, meaning that they actually put a transmission on this thing. Meaning you can gear a mechanically coupled mixture, means you can change the gear ratio between your hydrogen and liquid oxygen impellers, impeller RPMs. Which is pretty neat, if that's the case. See, that helps me figure this out a little bit easier, Rocket Guy. Thank you, because yeah, that's pretty nuts. That means that the VR35K seems to strongly suggest that it does something like this. Does the transmission help with restarts because of gear inertia? Nah, not really. Oh my gosh, what is this? Rivian, it's an RL10. You want to know what a pump looks like, an impeller pump, a fuel pump on a rocket engine. There you go. It's a corkscrew. It's a little more complicated than that, but whatever. It's a weird caveat, I suppose. Yeah, rocket, interesting, yeah. That's an RL10, that's an old design, dude. That's why we could see pictures of it. You're a corkscrew. Hey, corkscrew you, man. Hey, I've been there before! Caps. Wait till Honda owners get this. It doesn't have VTEC, okay? Does the gearbox somehow use propellant as a lubricant? Some rocket engines do that. Yeah. Some rocket engines do that. Supersonic, yep. Where is this display? I don't know. What was it used on? Not was, is. RL10 has been the back end of a Centaur upper stage since 1962, Riv. There's a lot of RL10s up there floating around in orbit. Isn't this the Air and Space Museum? I'm not exactly sure. Coltec, you've said you've seen this before. Where the heck is this? It doesn't say. Okay. I think I've narrowed it down. Considering the, what's back there. This is, there is one of three places that this could be. I think I've narrowed it down, considering the Saturn V that's sitting there in the background.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I wonder what is actually patented on their Vortex engine, because as far as I know, the overall Vortex chamber design is public domain. Hey, Sean, what's going on? Hey, keep being awesome. 9-month resub. Thank you. There was a Centaur stage that never had an RL10? No, I didn't say that exactly right, Sea Kraken. But yeah, no. The RL10 has been on upper stages. The RL10 has been on upper stages since the, since 1962. Yeah, every Centaur has had an RL10 behind it. It said near Marshall in the description. So this has got to be the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. So what's this Vortex engine patent? Let me see. Huh. That's a pretty trick injector mechanism right there. Really plasmic. Huh. Why did they choose the J2 single for the third stage of Saturn V instead of 5RL10? Simplicity. Yeah, that's the big one, Sea Kraken. Simplicity. Yep. How does it work for, like, power? What turns the gears? So the RL10 is using an expander cycle. It's hard to see it from here. Let me see if with this camera shot that goes to the top view. Okay. So, see down there? There's a turbine. The turbine is connected to the impeller, right? And it's connected to the gears, which drives the LOX impeller. The RL10 uses what's called an expander. So, basically, you have a pre-valve. Well, yeah. You have a pre-valve that shoots propellants through brazed through brazed channels in the rocket motor, in the rocket nozzle. You can actually see them back there. See that? Well, that's not exactly it, but they'd be right there. And goalie, when the liquid hydrogen gets pumped through these brazed tubes that make up the outer skin of the rocket engine, it heats up. The hydrogen heats up and it turns to gas and it expands. That gas expansion, right, is plumbed right to that turbine wheel, right? And the turbine wheel drives your impeller. Yeah, it goes through, yeah. Mm-hmm. Cryogenic fuel goes through the nozzle cooling jacket channels to transfer heat. The hotter fuel goes through the turbine to turn. Yep, there you go. Then all that goes into the combustion chamber for combustion. That's right. That's why you're called the rocket guy. So basically, cold hydrogen hits the warm engine, turns to gas, drives this, and then that gaseous hydrogen goes into the combustion chamber, and then from here, you have your main hydrogen impeller here, and main LOX impeller, and those find an injector plate in the combustion chamber with the gaseous hydrogen. RL-10 is one of the best rocket designs ever. Fun fact, Blue Origin's upper stage, Glenn Stage 2, is using BE3s. BE3s have an expander cycle. It's a little bit bigger than this one, though. But yeah, it's really, really smart. Expander cycles are really smart. Anyway, back to this vortex engine. What is this? So Rocket Guy, here, actually, let me read. A vortex flow field and apparatus. A vortex flow field and an apparatus and a method to produce and sustain it. The flow field includes an outer fluid vortex spiraling towards the closed end of the flow field, generating apparatus, and an inner fluid vortex substantially concentric with the outer vortex spiraling away from the closed end and toward an open outlet in which the inner vortex spirals in the same direction as the outer vortex, but in the opposite axial direction. The invention also relates to a rocket propulsion system utilizing the flow field in which the propulsion system includes a combustion chamber with a fuel source and an oxidizer source flowing along the flow field. A few consecutive messages above. You create two counter-flowing vortices, one with fuel, the other with oxidizer. Fuel around the chamber helps cool. Impinging fluid mixes for combustion. What the snozberries? Thanks for showing me Google patents. I found a new rabbit hole. So, wow. Rocket Guy, what would be the benefit of something like this? Are you going to get better specific impulse? I would assume it, because, you know, we're talking about impingement mechanisms. Impingement mechanisms would be used for better atomization, right? It's really cool if it works. Have they fired this beast yet? I would say that that's a thing, yes. So you pump your fuel from bottom to top. It vortexes upward, leaving the center open for the oxidizer. The fuel being around the outer wall keeps the combustion heat from melting the combustion chamber, reducing cooling requirements. Fuel spirals upward until it hits the injector plate and oxidizer flows through the top. Vortex engines have been around for a while. Huh. Most notably in some water-based hydrolysis-based engines where you can run stoichiometric. Yeah, it still needs pumps. Yep, yep. Interesting. That is a very interesting design, dude. Very interesting. Anyway, Sierra Space built one of those. The VR35KA engine will serve a critical industry need in supporting larger payload delivery to low Earth orbit and beyond. Sierra Space is applying its Vortex combustion chamber technology to engines and thrusters to support in-space propulsion for spacecraft orbital maneuvering and extraterrestrial landers. Sierra Space's Dream Chaser spacecraft uses Vortex in its reaction control system thrusters, for example. Huh. Yeah, they keep saying it's for use in upper stages. I think Integs on YouTube built a 3D printed Vortex engine if anybody wants to see what that process looks like. Nice. Run into your house and get your Dyson. Interesting. Their RCS is bipropellant. Most reaction control systems on vehicles, on spacecraft cheese, they do use bipropellants. Most of them use hypergolics. It's not monopropellant. The interesting thing is that monopropellant is kind of a misnomer. With monopropellant systems on vehicles, you're using it's not like you have compressed air. Like, you're just shooting compressed gas out. That gets you terrible specific impulse, to be honest with you. Monopropellant systems shoot compressed fuel through a catalyst. And that catalyst heats up. It reacts with the incoming fuel and creates a lot of heat. And that catalyst will shoot heated gas out the thruster. That's what a monopropellant system does. Like, a lot of people think it's just compressed gas. It's not. Kind of is, but it's kind of not. Hey, Badojo. Interesting. Interesting that their RCS uses Vortex thrusters, though. That's, it's very interesting. I don't know why. I mean, what's interesting is, Rocket Guy, what are you saying? What's interesting is, as far as I know, Vortex engines run gas, so it is not liquid propellants going into the combustion chamber. Note the fuel-rich cycle they mentioned. That means hydrogen gas is entering the combustion chamber. Look back at that diagram from the patent. The gas is what rotates around in the inside. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Right? Oh. I heard the door close. I was wondering who was there. Okay. Hi. Hi, dog. That's interesting, Rocket. Yeah. Interesting design. Oh, Popper. Popper boy. Come here, Bughouse. You have to be on camera for magical internet points. He doesn't want to hug right now. He's busy. He's busy doing dog things. All right. I love you. Bye-bye.
Shoot, I gotta do that thing.
She got to do that thing. Their RCS Vortex engines are monopropellant, by the way, as far as I understand. They have a patent for RCS Vortex engines that use catalyst beds. So they're shooting gas into a catalyst at the top of a combustion chamber thruster. Okay, rocket guy. Okay, armchair rocket scientist time. That seems needlessly complicated for a monopropellant system. Why not just use pressure fed hypergols using the catalyst bed to create the gas? Oh, that sounds even more complicated. I meant hypergolic bipropellant, not monopropellant. Okay, yeah, all right. My point still stands, or my question still is a thing. What's your application here? Because that seems needlessly complicated for reaction control systems. Am I getting a Consuela boss? I think they sold out, Tessa. I probably will, though. I kind of agree. Unless they found it allows them to burn at a better, hotter ratio with this and improve performance. Yeah, Rocket, I don't really understand the application here other than to, oh, well, ours are different. If we turned a super heavy booster upside down and turned it into a hot air balloon, how high do you think we could get? The thrust from the rocket engines would drastically outweigh any lift that you get from a balloon. How high do you think we'd go? -3. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's an interesting thing. That was a really interesting bit of space news. I'm gonna have to look more into that. Anyway, it could be just that. As you know, commercial companies looking for funding always try to just propose innovative things. Just look at relativity. That got them funding, and then they drop their innovative tech. Have I missed your reaction to Ship 34 Static Fire? I watched it live last night, Pat, but yeah, we'll look at it again. I got a couple more things before we get to space news stuff. That's interesting, Rocket. And hey, thanks for the insight, man. Learn a lot. Always learn a lot when you're here. Mr. Strimmerman is learning a lot. It's nice to be taught stuff from time to time and not do the teaching all the time. You know what I'm saying? 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 What was the tech that Relativity dropped? 3D printing their cores. Yeah, their Relativity isn't doing the 3D printing thing anymore, except in specific applications, but it ends up being no more 3D printed than any other rocket. My pleasure. Work has been a buster at the moment, but big deadline finally passed. Right on, man. Cool. Out of curiosity, have you missed a Falcon launch in 2025? I've missed one launch in 2025. I've missed one. And I plan to keep it that way as best as I can. That one launch was a Falcon 9 that launched at like 3 in the morning on the weekend. So I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. Not sure Relativity will survive until mid-2025. I mean, Baron, there were all those financial posts, right, about how Relativity, their value has gone to nothing, their value has gone to nothing. Oh, of course their value has gone to nothing. When you're pivoting, that's what usually happens. You know? The former Google CEO bailed them out. Yeah. They seem to be fine for a bit. EJ, is the 60-second static fire of Starship a new thing? That is absolutely a new thing, Dan. Yeah. They sent Ship 34, which is super cool. Relativity has been quiet for quite a while, yes. That tells me one of two things. They didn't see Terran 1 successfully competing in the market competitively, and they decided to pivot to a bigger design, or they realized that 3D printing their cores is not a good idea. It's one or the other. Did you see the fire stuck between the engines under the dance floor? Yep, I seen it. We'll watch that static fire in a second. I want to get through all the other stuff before we jump into that. There's couple of things here before we jump into that. All right, let's see what we got. So NASA successfully joined Sunshade to Roman Observatory's exoskeleton. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope team has successfully integrated the mission's deployable aperture cover, a visor-like sunshade that will help prevent unwanted light from entering the telescope, to the outer barrel assembly, another structure designed to shield the telescope from stray light in addition to keeping it at a stable temperature. Oh, they wrapped it in trash bags. That's nice. That's cool. The sunshade functions like a heavy-duty version of blackout curtains that you might use to keep your room dark. What would somebody else be using blackout curtains for? Anyway, Rocket Guy RE Relativity. I just can't believe that they had like $100 million in backlog launch contracts, unless they were just paper and not commitments, but I just don't see how you walk away from that. Rocket Guy, that tells me that they figured out something with Terran 1. They figured out that printing those cores is not a good thing. Curtains for when they black out. Yeah. That tells me that somebody said, "Oh, this isn't going to work." And yeah. Decided to pivot. We'll see what happens. It goes against every startup best practice otherwise. I agree. Rocket, I can't... Yeah, dude, I'm with you on that one. I really think that... Like, okay, let's play off the notion that there's something wrong with 3D printing your architecture, right? Let's play off that notion for a second. Terran 1 worked. It worked. It got off the ground and it got to staging. They didn't get an upper stage ignition, right? But it worked. It definitely worked. Now, dude, like, can you think... I mean, obviously, you're not an expert. I'm not an expert. I mean, you arguably are an expert, but whatever. Do you honestly think, like, after getting flight data and testing data, all the testing data and flight data that they got, that they would find some kind of glaring issue with 3D printing stuff? Like... I don't know how you get that far into testing and validation and figure out that 3D printing cores is a stupid idea. I just don't. That doesn't make sense. Right? Like, how do you get that far and screw that up? You would have, if the analysis was good, you would have figured something out. You would have figured that out that that's not a good idea. You would have figured that out a long time ago. Am I wrong in thinking about that way? I bet it cost too much. They couldn't make the cost make sense at that size. Yeah, but you have $100 million in commitments. Figure it out. $100 million? $100 million in commitments, man? They wasted $200 million on Aeon 1 engine development and nearly $500 million on the tank and 3D printing architecture. All of that down the drain. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that is more of a post-conclusion. Yeah, zombies. Well, I'm just trying to figure out why you would abandon architecture for a rocket that's flown. That is usually decisions that are relegated to these guys up here. See these guys? That's what they like doing. Curtains for when they blink. Maybe the long-range business plans showed multiple small sat launch providers are not economically viable. Yeah, true. I think it's just a waste. They could have at least used Terran 1 for more money for future development. Yeah, like, why pull Terran 1's development? Even if 3D printing didn't work, why go back to the drawing board and go bigger instead of just dropping the 3D printing and go more traditional manufacturing for the vehicle you've already worked on? Yeah, Rocket Guy. Yeah. And oh my God, zombies, I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is what happened to relativity either, right? Like, I don't understand that decision. I didn't understand that decision at the time. I just, you have a capability that not any, that like what? All that work, the entire launch pad, GSC, all the equipment that they built at the Cape, what, like, what just, we launched a half of a rocket once and called it a day? Like I said, that sounds like NASA. Not just NASA, the Brits were also good at that too. That's a good point. Oh, I just had a horrifying thought. What if this is like a money grab and run situation? I don't know, man. Maybe. Let's also remember that Terran 1 had over 1 MT of lift capacity, 1 metric ton of lift capacity. As far as small launch vehicles go, is pretty capable, better than Rocket Lab. And they have been going for a while. Of course, Rocket Lab does a lot more now. Acquired enough companies to build and sell satellites and satellite components, but still. Yeah, dude. I understand where you're coming from for sure. Yeah, zombies, like, I just don't get it. I think that's a crazy business decision. It's a crazy business decision just to drop everything and just clean sheet a new design when you haven't even finished one. Not even SpaceX did that. Beermeister, what's that? I got a job offer to work as a tech for Aerospace Lab in Belgium. Might go to the interview. Feeling cute. Might go to the interview later. Dude, sweet, man. Is it at Estech? Oh, no, that's Estech is in the Netherlands. Never mind. That's cool. You should do that. Also, the small sat market, previously seen as saturated or saturating, is definitely now starting to pop and become a more even playing field. See, Rocket Guy, this is where I can appreciate Peter Beck. You know why? This is going to sound like a real mean thing to say. He knows how to run a commercial launch provider. I mean, don't get me wrong, so does Elon. But Peter Beck knows how to run one as well, and he's pretty good at it. You know? Sir Peter Beck. Like, I gotta give the guy credit. You know, it was really funny when somebody asked him how his company differentiates from all other small sat launch companies that are in the mix now. And you know what he said? My company launches things into space. That's the difference. I like you. You're all right. Well, it was true. I like you, Sir Peter Beck. You are a pretty good dude. Yes, that is the right answer. Well, it was true. It was true. That's it, man. What differentiates you? My rockets work. That's what differentiates me. Okay. Okay. All right. And he ate his hat. He is a man of principle. He's a hat-consuming man of principle. No, like, okay. Enough jerking his chain. Yeah, I just don't understand what Tim Ellis and Relativity are trying to accomplish here. Like, that's a hell of a pivot, man. You're going to need a lot of runway to do that. Right? Yeah, he said he'd eat his hat if they made a bigger rocket. And then ate his hat. And is making a bigger rocket right now. And saw the payload user's guide for Neutron yesterday. Relativity is really perplexing. They had a lot of investors gushing into their 3D printed architecture, touting that 90% of the rocket will be 3D printed. Fast forward to Terran R. They canned the 3D tanks, but kept a weird design for the domes. 2 years later, turns out even their dome design is super bad under load, reverting to standard aluminum domes. Say that you will even print your own 3D fairing and then go to Ruaug, yeah, and take pictures with Ariane 6 fairing and say it's your own. Yeah, I don't think that was a good idea, trying to pivot right to Terran R, but Yeah, NORAD, nice. Yeah, that's I don't know why you'd abandon a rocket that flies. That, like I said, that seems like something that NASA really likes to do, but anywho, my rant with relativity is done. Well, let's hope they can get out of it, dude. Let's hope they can get out of it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, back to the sunshade. They got the sunshade on the Nancy Roman Space Telescope. Pretty awesome. Oh, hello. Roman is made up a lot of separate components that come to... What is the resolution of this picture? Oh, yeah. That's it. Very nice. That come together after years of design and fabrication. The deployable aperture cover and outer barrel assembly were built at the same time, and up until the integration, the two teams mainly used reference drawings to make sure everything would fit together as it should, so the successful integration was both a proud moment and a relief. Nice. Cool. There we go. Another space telescope in the works. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, next bit of news here is coming from Jeff Faust here. Let's see what Jeff Faust is up to. What is this? What is all this in? Okay. Senator Ted Cruz, Senate Commerce Chair, says at the conference, so Jeff Faust this is a tweet, a bunch of tweets from a conference that he's at. Will soon reintroduce the NASA authorization bill he and others first introduced in December. He says that it's time to seriously consider moving the FAA's Commercial Space Transportation Office, AST, out of the FAA and into a separate office where it was originally before being moved into the FAA 3 decades ago. Asked Cruz after his speech about the timing of a confirmation hearing for Jared Isaacman as NASA administrator, he said the committee has yet to receive the paperwork on the nomination from the administration, so the hearing can't be scheduled yet. Brian Bavin from Texas, chair of the House Science Committee, says he and ranking member Zoe Lofgren will also ask the Government Accountability Office to review the FAA's implementation of launch and reentry licensing regulations. Babin said it will reintroduce a commercial space bill from the previous Congress and a NASA authorization bill. Bree's on the phone. Hello?
Hi, can you tell me the information?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Guys, I'll be right back. Be right back 1 second. I gotta talk to Bree about something. Be back momentarily.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okie dokie, I'm back. Sorry for that momentary interruption. Let's see what else we got here. Companies can use the fast-track licensing process now, but don't. Yep. Babin says he will reintroduce a commercial space bill from the previous Congress and a NASA authorization bill. Blue Origin's Dave Limp says they are targeting late spring for the second New Glenn launch. Suggests some kind of engine issue caused the loss of the booster during its landing attempt, but declines to go into much detail. Did Brimo's car get fixed? It's at the shop right now, Fanuel. I've been daily driving around the 97. I don't like driving it in the snow and salt, but I've been keeping it clean, so. Yeah. Yeah. I've been keeping her clean. I don't need that thing rusting out. So May or June. Yeah, Moist, that's what I would say. Dave Limp, we think our Blue Moon architecture could be adapted for Mars missions. Many core technologies can be applied to a Mars transit, he says, noting Blue Origin offered it to NASA for Mars sample return. Okay. Limp is very confident we can get the Blue Moon Mark I lander on the moon this year. Whoa. Oh, hello. I want to know how Hydrolox boil-off is combated. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, it's a very, very bold thing to say. Dave Limp says Blue Origin is producing one BE4 engine a week and expects to double or triple that rate in the next 12 to 18 months. Scaling, baby. Scaling, baby. Nice. One BE4 a week is not bad. That's pretty freaking good, dude. That's the key right there, guys. I've always talked about this. Rocket Guy, you know good and well. Propulsion is your long lead item all day, every day. Propulsion is what that is the whole thing. You don't have that, you're not going anywhere, right? So to see that Blue is producing one BE4 a week, that tells me everything I need to know. There are a lot of new Glens in the pipeline for them. A lot. You're making one a week. That's 52 a year. What's 52 divided by 7? Just out of curiosity. 52 divided by 7. That's enough for 7 new Glen cores. And then if you're, let's say it's not all going to New Glen. Some of that is for Vulcan as well. That's a lot. ULA's got to start producing a lot of Vulcans. They said they wanted to launch, like 24 times this year? Something like that. 24 times a year. So, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. You're going to need to double or triple that in the next 12 to 18 months to support all the new Glen and Vulcan launches that need to be done that are on the books already. I wish they showed pictures of the current B4 production compared to the initial Vulcan tests. Yep. How heavy is the Mark I lander for Blue? I don't know, Liz. I'm not sure. Propulsion is what rockets crave. Propulsion. Yes! It's engines! From physics class! I think the Mark I lander is like 20 metric tons, something like that. Yep. You're going to ask me here at the Spaceflight Conference what's the most important thing for launch vehicle architecture? Propulsion. Sorry. I'm dumb. Why 52 divided by 7? Corsi, New Glen has 7 engines in the first stage. It's just $99 window Microsoft. Are we going to do that again? Are we starting that up again? You think ULA will attempt smart reuse of BE4s this year? If they can scale, Archie, they're having trouble scaling, which is interesting. Isn't it the pad and ground support? Depends on who you ask. And 52 weeks in a year. Yep. Mm-hmm. Window, Microsoft. Anyway. Okay, let's see what else we got. Lim says that New Shepard will be a very good business for Blue Origin for both research and tourism flights, but no specifics on flight rates. Ooh! That's Max Hout, which, that's the guy that duct taped Das to a wall the other day. Yes, you heard that. You heard that correctly. Max says at the conference that he supports an approach where future commercial low Earth orbit destinations are initially crew-tended, supporting astronauts for 30 to 90 days at a time while overlapping with the ISS before becoming permanently crewed. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That is a very, 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 very good idea. We should do that. We need to have... You need to have stopgap capability. That's the right thing to do. And before you say, what do you mean? What do you mean he duct taped us to a wall? Well, watch.
Now.
So Haven 1 has 4 sleeping berths,
Right?
and then the crew will each should get one
That's
of
it.
these.
That's Max talking.
Now we're inflating
Yeah.
you.
See?
It is.
That's
It
Max
like
right there.
pushes you down. It pushes you back against the surface.
See, that's Max right there, patting Das, who is, taped to the wall. Where's Axiom supposed to be in all this? What is their timeline? I don't know, man. I don't know. Rocket Guy, I think Axiom has some big freaking problems. They tried to diversify way too fast for a private spaceflight company, dude. That's just my opinion, though. We got mummified DOS before GTA 6. Rocket, I think Axiom getting the spacesuit contract was a huge mistake. That was getting the Artemis spacesuit contract for making the lunar spacesuits. I think that was a really, really, really bad idea. That was a bad idea on Axiom's part, and that was a bad idea on NASA commercializing the spacesuit. That was a really stupid thing to do on multiple fronts by both parties. Now, why? Why is that? Well, the quick and easy way is that now Congress didn't get the funding to make a spacesuit. NASA didn't get the funding from Congress to make a spacesuit themselves for the thing that Congress said they needed to do. So as a response to this, for not getting the money for it, their program was basically on life support. And so what NASA decided to do a little while back was cancel the spacesuit contract, the EMU, the XEMU contract. They did it in 2021, and then gave the contract to Axiom Space, who is a company that has no experience making spacesuits whatsoever. Axiom Space was supposed to be a commercial, a commercial space station operator. Yep. And they decided to pivot to building lunar spacesuits. And the company, which is basically a startup, tried to scale and failed miserably. They failed so hard that their CEO had to step down. So now they're stuck making this spacesuit, Rocket Guy, and if I had to guess, the spacesuit is a more critical line item for the Artemis program, and it probably is where more money is, so I don't know what their space station modules are doing. I have no idea. They've been very quiet about that. But on the flip side, they've been very vocal about their spacesuits because they partnered with Gucci or something to make the suit. Because they were supposed to do ISS expansions. Then Vast came into the picture and said, hold my beer. Yeah, they were supposed to do ISS expansions, and those expansions were supposed to be launching like now. Yeah, that didn't happen. But that didn't happen here. That didn't happen here. What I'm trying to tell you is that their spacesuits don't have positive traction. Okay? Can't make those mocks without positive traction. I mean, every one of these private companies involved with NASA have yet to deliver anything functional. Axiom is just one of these power fantasy we're going to live in space companies. Yeah, Lahiz, I kind of agree with you. And I'm not trying to talk bad about Axiom. I really hope they humble me and prove me completely wrong. I really do. I would love nothing more than to be wrong. Because that means our dexterity has increased in space, and they delivered a spacesuit and spaceflight modules at the same time. What is positive traction? Limited slip differential that allows power to be evenly distributed between the left and right tire. Anyway. So, yeah, Axiom was supposed to be... They were supposed to basically have a commercial astronaut corps and conduct commercial science missions on a commercial space station for NASA. And they haven't done that because they decided to build the spacesuits for the lunar. They decided to get into the spacesuit building industry, which, okay, why is that a dumb idea? Spacesuits are one of the extravehicular activity suits are one of the most complicated things that you can design in spaceflight. The only thing that would be more complicated is probably a human-rated spacecraft. That's the only thing that would be more complicated. Yeah. The reason why this is one step below a human-rated spacecraft is because the only difference between a Dragon and an extravehicular activity suit like the EMU or the XEMU or the AXEMU is that it's designed to hold one person, and a spacecraft like Dragon or Starliner or Dream Chaser is designed to hold multiple people. That's the only difference in factor of difficulty. Building an autonomous spacesuit that's designed for closed-loop activities for long periods of time, like an EMU, like an EVA suit, like a surface operations suit, is one of the hardest things that you can make. That is one of the hardest things to build in spaceflight operations. I would say building a launch vehicle is easier. And they just decided to, oh yeah, they just scooped up this commercial contract. I would also like to add that Collins Aerospace also got a contract for commercial spacesuits, for commercial EVA spacesuits for NASA, and they pulled out of the contract because it wasn't, well, we don't know the reason. We don't know the reason, but if I had to throw my hat into the ring, and I do like this hat, if I had to throw it into the ring, I would pretty much say that there's no money in it. There's no money in it. They're never going to see a return on investment. Even with fat NASA contracts. To what? What is a Ute? What is a Ute? Hello there, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, NASA man. They bought Dragon flights. Yeah, Rocket Guy, they bought Dragon flights, but yeah, they haven't paid for any of those. They haven't paid for any of those yet. Fun fact. And now, granted, that source is from an Ars Technica article written by Eric Berger. So, I mean, he says it's a source. Eric's sources generally are pretty good. So, whether that's true or not, I don't know for sure. I'm inclined to say that it probably is. It makes sense considering. Tessa, please. Yep. No, Liz, they haven't. They haven't paid for any of those. A Ute is a newer Australian-looking Camaro. That's right. That's right. It goes in the Strya hell, mate. Hydrogen bucket man? Yes, Cyborg. Starship nose cone with built-in catch points rolling in the ring yard. Yeah, people were telling me that, Kate. Let me see. But anyway, yeah. I don't know what Axiom's doing in terms of space station modules, Rocket Guy. I have no idea. Not bought in full, at least, typically when they are milestone-based, but even SpaceX requires a down payment for a launch slot unless big primes are exempt. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. All I'm saying though is that Vast has been pretty forthcoming and pretty straightforward about these modules that they're making. And they have flight hardware to back it up. And they've been doing this for a lot shorter time than Axiom seems to have. So what's going on? Anyway. Let's go. Check that out. Starship with catch pins on it. See that? There's a Starship with catch pins right there. Or at least a piece of one. That's rolling into the Mega Bay. Wait a minute. What do I see right there? Oh. It's just the artifacting. Never mind. RAM. There you go. Cool. Cool. But for their rideshare missions, they require at least 50% down payment 1 year out from launch. yeah, 1 year out from launch. 20%, another 6 months out, another 20%, 3 months out, and then a final 10% like a month out, something like that. Dude, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Great catch. Well, chat's the one that told me. Anyway. Yeah, interesting bit of information coming from Jeff Faust there. We'll save that one for the end. So, okay, speaking of Starship, this is a good time to pivot to that. Take a look here. So, last night, while we were playing After Hours, Ship 34 was out at Massey's and did this. I would warn you, headphone users, this might get a little loud. Headphone users. Headphone users. Headphone users. It's going to get loud. And Ship 34 last night did this. Whoa. What? What was that at the end there? Huh. Do you know if they use the weight of the fuel to hold it down? Yeah, Dan. Look. Yeah, they use the weight to hold the thing down on top of the hold down points. Those Raptor vacs can fire because the three other make a near vacuum condition. No, you can actually fire Vector engines down at atmosphere, Talon. You can fire them down at atmosphere because Raptor's chamber pressure is so ridiculously high, it can fire through an upper stage nozzle down here, and it's not a big deal. Yeah, I know. Crazy. You could see the vortex around the ship. Yeah, that's right, Tessa. We could. When Pad B is done, do you think they'll make that main pad for a while and refurbish Pad A? I think they will do the minimum amount of requirements, Dino, for Pad A to make it operable for Block 2 boosters.
This is space. I'm in space.
Geeson gifted a sub to We Get It, You Vape. I like how the flow gathers off the gassing. Yep. Yeah, so Ship 34 last night did a 60-second burn, which is that's crazy for a test stand. That's, oh, hello. Worth noting that there's some speculation that something was damaged. Molten slag observed being ejected from the flame deflector. I'm going to go ahead and guess that's probably something, that's probably a piece of pad. How many seconds of ships static firing time do they have per year? I don't know, but they just basically, dude, call me crazy, dudes, but I would think this is more static fire time than every other starship that's even comparable to this ever. SpaceX really wants to get whatever happened to Ship 33 figured out, which is nutso to me. But yeah, the liquid oxygen in this design is being used as ballast to keep your TWR in line. If you notice, the LOX tank is full and the methane tank is not. The methane tank has just a little bit of fuel in it. The engine bay was on fire. There's a pocket There is... there's a pocket of stuck fire under the dance floor. Hmm. Hmm. Let me see this. I don't know what that is. It could be a hydraulic hammer. Could be a valve closing. That could be a bunch of different things, dudes. Or it could be something popping down there. Could be a detonation coming at the bottom. Could it be an attempted fast relight and they aborted? No. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say whatever that was, it wasn't a big deal. All right? Do I have any technical experience in whatever that pop was? No. What I do know is this. It's audible in SpaceX's own footage here. Listen. It's definitely there. SpaceX generally doesn't publicize failing systems on their main X channel. They generally don't do that at all. So whatever that was, I'm going to go ahead and say that if it was something bad, they probably wouldn't have put it in their main video. Ship 34 flaps are stowed. They're not going to do an in-space burn simulation. She's rolling back to the factory either tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay. Zach tweeted about the pop, no real conclusion. Synchronizing the audio. It does not sound like there was a single engine relight at shutdown as some has suggested. There's just a pop. Yeah, once again, I don't think that if it was a problem, I don't think they would have put it in their mainline video that they showed to everybody to show off their ship. Most of the time, commercial companies don't show off something failing. SpaceX has in the past, but they really don't do it in this context. Yeah, only if it's really cool. Yeah, exactly. So, now, that doesn't necessarily explain why there's still light coming out from underneath the ship after the engine... Hello. After the engine shut off. Now, with that being said, all rocket engines do carry some residual propellants that do kind of spray on the ground after you shut them off. And on a test stand, it would be very apparent. We see it with Falcon 9s when they come down and land. You usually see some sparks or some fire coming out of the bottom after the engines have shut off. Seems like Raptor might have that kind of problem there. I don't know if it's just from residual propellant in the lines. A lot of people in chat said leaks. I don't know. What we do know is that after whatever happened to Ship 33, Elon insinuated that it was some type of fuel leak, and that seems to be the case. Yeah, SpaceX is definitely testing it. Their test, they did this full duration or 1 minute duration burn for a very good reason. They're trying, if I had to guess, they're trying to replicate the mistake. There are flaps on it, yes. Yum food, yep. Yeah, you could see them right there. The forward flaps are all the way up there. It does remind me of the sound I heard when an injector plate cracked in an engine that I was working on back in the day, which is interesting, but that doesn't mean anything in this context. Yep. Rocky, I think it doesn't sound like a good noise, but once again, they wouldn't... They wouldn't put it in the video, you know? They wouldn't put it in a video. Why would they cut the video so you can hear the pop? Why not just cut that exact video and fade to black 2 seconds earlier, right? People are saying it's a valve closing a bit too fast. Yep. Do they still want to launch this month? I would guess first week of March at this point, Daitor. Check the pictures below. There's a stuck fire above the engines. Could be a COPV pop. I don't know how you could discern that from all of this, but good for you. It's awesome. I stood next to that thing. Raga, you hot fired the engine, and after shutdown, it sounded something that where the injector plate hit transients on shutdown and cracked. Not fun, but a good learning experience. Maybe just the alloys in the injector plate, perhaps, or thickness of injector plate, perhaps. Kowalski, analysis. I don't see any fire up there, dude. I really don't. This is during ignition here. See the overexpanded plume coming out of the vacuum engines? This is during Vector ignition, like right at the beginning. That's when all engine running. Maybe that. Maybe. Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, yeah, that looks like a fire that shouldn't be there. Because you guys got to think, if there was any other, if this was just fire coming out of the engines, it would be just shot down there at high speed. It wouldn't be propagating like that. Interesting. Maybe the clamps retracting? Yeah, maybe, Alex. I don't think there's any clamps in this design. I think that Starship is just bolted to the pad. I don't think there's any hold-down clamps or anything. New date for the Crew 10 launch. Yeah, I covered that yesterday, David. Yep. I didn't even think about that. Using a Raptor vacuum nozzle could damage the Raptor at sea level. Do you know if they went full throttle for the test? It doesn't, Dan. No, it doesn't. It doesn't damage the nozzle. These nozzles are not vectorable. The vacuum engines are not vectored, and they're reinforced. They have these huge stiffening rings around the outside of the nozzle to prevent oscillations. But yeah, Raptor chamber pressure is so hard, it can do that in the atmosphere, and it doesn't break anything. But you can see the stiffener rings right there on the vacuum engine. See? Yeah, they tooled them up so the nozzle doesn't do this when you're getting over expansion here. Yeah, that's the only engine I know of where you can get away with that. Ugh, excuse me, sorry. That's the only engine I know where you can get away with that. You cannot test upper stage engines down here if they have their nozzle on. They explode because of that. Does that, if you've been here with me and you watched a lot of rocket engine thrusts should come, you should get what's called, you should get under expansion, which is this. See how the gas is coming out of the engines kind of shoot out to the side and then compress back in? Your exhaust should look like a teardrop. Does that look like that at all? No, that doesn't look right at all. That looks like you have some kind of crazy annular thrust chamber, but it doesn't. Yeah, no upper stage engine can do that down here except for that thing. Because it's Raptor. It's ridiculous. Time to show the Raptor video. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good video, man. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, very nice. Yeah, see the stiffener ring that they have on the nozzle? This is nothing more than just a structural piece to prevent the nozzle from blowing up when you during throttle transients. Oh, I remember this footage. This footage is baller. Watch. When the engine is shutting down, atmosphere is wanting to get inside of here. The gases coming out basically can't fill up this entire space, and the atmospheric gases want to squeeze in here, right? The resulting phenomenon here is flow separation. You can see the exact point of separation right there. See what I'm talking about? That's what that ring is. Yeah, that's not good for it. That breaks things. That's why they have a stiffener ring right there, so that nozzle doesn't do this. Because, look, you have something that's pulsing in and out of the rocket engine during shutdown. The whole nozzle would be doing this. It would just be like spraying, like, and it would just blow up. It'll go right to your thighs, and then you'll blow up. Yeah. Yeah, that's why the stiffener ring is there, because this thing wouldn't be happy if it wasn't. See, and there's shutdown. Nice. Nice. Very good. Good footage. This is a vacuum nozzle on the reactor. Yes. Not good for your rocket engines to mimic a whoopee cushion. That's correct. That's correct. One of my favorite vids is the shuttle main engine and the boing, the engine on startup. That's exactly, Skogs, that's the exact reason why they have those rings on there. Because that would do that right during startup. The thing would shake itself to pieces. That's why, like I said, that's why the ring is there. Got this on speed dial too. Loud warning. Oh, all right. Headphone users. Headphone users. Headphone users. 10 seconds to comply. This is going to get loud. I've seen this footage before. Turn it up. Boom, bam, doo, 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 doo. Bring the noise. Nice. Oh, that's tits. I love that. You can hear the turbo pumps, well, pre-burners in this scenario with this engine. You can hear them spin. You can hear them spool up. Listen, you'll hear a zzz right before the engine ignites. Yes. That's so tits. I love it. Yep. Yeah, turbo. You can see the flow separated at the very end of the nozzle. The SSMEs encountered the same thing, so designers turned the very end of the nozzle valve inward to combat that. There you go. Yeah, shuttle engines. Super trick. Yeah, Rocket Guy, you're referring to... Here, hold on. Yippity-doo-dah. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. They canted the end of the nozzle inward. That makes sense. That's actually a really smart solution for that problem. Watch. It's very apparent right here. Watch what happens during a startup transient on the rim of the nozzle right here. Watch. Oh, spring. God, I miss that thing so much, dude. Ever seen this video? Extended cut, the incredible sounds of the Falcon Heavy Knots, binaural audio immersion. Pretty sure Das filmed that, Mowgli. If it wasn't Das, it was Tim from On Top of the VAB. Crazy how much it bends. Yeah, guys, that's... So, Rocket Guy, I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that the end of the nozzle kind of curves inwards to combat this problem, but the Vector engine obviously doesn't have that. So, SpaceX put a stiffener ring on the outside of their nozzle, right? The shuttle engines canted it in so this doesn't happen. Watch, you can see it really get rowdy over here. Look at... It was Trevor that filmed that? Oh, excellent. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, point still stands. If Trevor's the one that filmed that, I still know the person that did it. Yeah, in the Vector test engine you just showed last, you could see the shock separate at the very end. Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I was just saying. Yeah, watch. When the Mach disc collapses right here, you're getting flow separation. See, you can see it start to get very turbulent around the edge here. And see that? Oh! Right there. Back it up. Oh, ooh. Dude, any other motor, this thing would be dead. See that? Oh. Oh, pulsing. That is this. See this right here? That's not great. No. It looks like pulse combustion. Yeah. It kind of is, Caviar. You do get some detonation on engine shutdown. That happens. Yeah, that happens. The one running at full blast, you could see it just on the inside at the end of the nozzle. Oh. Oh yeah, dude, right there. Look at that. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's really not great. You see how it's all different colors up in here? It looks like tiger stripes. Yeah, that's bad. Look at you. They said you were good. Oh, yeah, that's not great. Oh yeah, you can absolutely see it. Rocket Guy, you think they were testing deep throttling here? Judging by the amount of under expansion that's going on here, it looks like that engine is throttled down, if I had to guess. They calculated the nozzle really good to run it at sea level. Yeah, not sure. I think so though, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah. So guys, it's kind of easy. Okay, like all right. This doesn't make you a rocket expert, okay? But you can kind of tell if an engine is throttled down or not. The reason why is because of what's called under expansion, okay? The under expansion. So see how the gases coming out of the nozzle they're coming out kind of straight and then they go down, right? See that right there? Well, that happens. But that's not what you want to see. That's like perfect expansion. You don't want that with a rocket engine. You want under expansion. With under expansion, like I was saying over here, if we look at this picture, you can really see it on the sea level Raptors. See, look at the gases coming out of those. See how they're shooting out and then coming back in? That's what you want. That's the good stuff. That's a healthy, happy engine. See what I'm talking about? This video right here, this video right here, you see perfect. You're not seeing over or under expansion. It's kind of right. It's kind of straight. That tells me that this engine is throttled down. Last one, a 20-second Raptor burn on the test stand. Also warning. Okay, this is a sea level Raptor. Headphone users again. Headphone users. Headphone users again. Headphone users. This Space News ended up getting very loud. Oh. 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 Hey. Oh, yeah. See that? See how it goes out? Perfect. Have you seen that Chip 36 nose cone has catch pins? I did see it. Yep. Oh. Woo, bro, isn't this yeah, this is not safe for work. See what I'm talking about? That's perfect on under expansion. This engine is very, very happy. Another thing that you can kind of spot, which is just kind of a visual thing, is how defined this line is. If it's nice and smooth and it's not turbulent, very happy motor. That's a very happy motor right there. Very nice. Oh, bruh. These things are sick. That's the video every KSP Starship mod uses for its Raptor startup. Oh, yeah? That shear layer that is separated from the internal flow is unburned methane that mixes with the oxygen in the atmosphere and combusts. You're talking about this guy right here? Oh, damn, that's cool. Rocket Guy, would that be from the film cooling that they're putting through the nozzle? That's from the film cooling that's creating that. Most likely. Yeah, okay. Oh. I love rocket engines. Rocket engines are so cool, dude. That's amazing. Look, dude, look at it. Like, okay, if you want to reduce it just till its base element, look at how pretty that looks. Look at that. That is like, it's like staring into fire. You just can't stop. It's like, you guys ever been around a campfire? You know what I'm talking about? You ever been around a campfire? You ever just stare at the fire and just, you know, you hear the crackling and it's just like, it's the same thing. There's like some missing link caveman evolutionary thing going on there. I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop look at what? Primal. Yeah, it's some primal stuff. Exactly. Like, it's just like, ooh, the fire. Nice. You know? It's ridiculous. You ever just stared at a shoe? You ever been to a Turkish prison? Does Raptor run oxygen or fuel rich? Both. It's a full flow stage combustion, Trey. It's, yeah, both of those things. Say it loud and say it proud. Ooga booga. Look, you're telling me you didn't just, when I showed this before, you weren't just like, oh, pretty colors. You ever drink Bailey's out of a boot? Did you see the Stoke space engines today? Yeah, uptight. Yeah, I showed that the first and second stage engine on the trailer, and nobody said anything in chat, but I guarantee you somebody watching the stream went, wait, what? That's a heat shield. And I'm like, no, it is not. Oh, God, it's so sick. Except, yes, it is. I mean, it did sound like a caveman during the Flight 2 liftoff, seeing all 33 engines running. Right? Exactly. When Falcon Heavy first launched, me and Das were at the test flight. We were on the ITL Causeway. We were so dang close to that thing. And the rocket, the rumble being that close, like, got to me. It got to me, and it was like, I felt threatened. And I had to assert dominance, so I went like back at the rocket. Like I growled at the rocket. I did not do that on purpose, and it's a little embarrassing, but that's what happened, man. And then you experience that again with Flight 7, right? Just internally. With Flight 7, dude, I was just like, my brain just went ding, 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 It was like a slot machine going. Only it was tilt, 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 tilt. I'm just like, I don't. That's pretty neat. How neat is that? That's pretty neat, you know. Like, it was bad. It's like the cartoons when like Yosemite Sam gets hit in the head and he's like, ding 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 ding. You know, like I was just. That's. Would you just look at it? Would you? You know, sometimes when I'm watching rocket launches, I just, you know, you just gotta go up to it and just say, would you just look at it? Oh, would you look at this? You know, like I snapped back into it when the sonic boom hit. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? And then I was like, yeah, you know, dude, listen to the footage I've showed you guys before. You know what, man? You know what? We're watching all the good stuff. Let's just show it. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the click this now? Click this now. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. More fun rocket engine startup and shutdown. Oh, that's my favorite video, dude. Is this the one? Oh no, that's the Firefly one. Oh, we gotta watch that. Hold on. Why does your media player say click this now? That's what I named the video when I downloaded it, Hokey. Click this now. So whenever I see it, I click this now and I can see this. I'm telling you, man. This thing ruined it. It ruined rocket launches for me permanently. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Okay, give this up to Animal. Oh my goodness. Here, I just. Dude. I can't tell you how many times I've watched this footage. I've watched it probably 500 times.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Nova gifted a sub to Booster 14. Dude, this shot of Super Heavy coming in and the vapor cone that comes off the front, it gets me fired up every time. Every time. I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick. Whoa. Like, I didn't do it when I saw it because my brain was not registering what was going on. But this part, like at the end here, it punching through that dang cloud and then it's the most metal thing ever. Like, what? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. That's so badass. Oh my goodness. Holy shit.
Fly, baby, fly.
Right?
Come on. Do the thing. Yes. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, baby.
Come on, light it up. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Oh, it's slowed way down. Down to 3 engines.
Come on, bring it on home.
Bring it on home! Yes! Led Zeppelin quote from me, because I didn't know. My brain was not figuring out what was happening here.
Yes!
Oh my.
And then I snap back. I'm like, you know, like, oh my goodness. Dude, that shot punching through the clouds every time. Dude, I get goosebumps seeing total nerd chills when it's just right through the cloud. And oh, that's so good, man. Oh, it's so cool. Like I said, man, this thing ruined it. It ruined rockets. It ruined it permanently. Like, I can't look at any rocket the same ever again. Oh my goodness. Archie, I can't say that I don't watch this footage like every day, because I definitely do. One more time? Dude, I got you. Like, I definitely watch this a lot. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, this shot of this thing punching through the cloud.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Oh. It's just, here, hold up. All right, I gotta show you. Pokey, gift us up, Lava Eagle. Oh.
Here we go. We can see the glow.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Gifted 3 months of tier 1 to RJ. There you go.
Fly, baby, fly.
Come on. Do the thing. Do the thing. Yes. Come on.
Seeing some vapor on it.
What the fuck?
Come on,
What
baby.
the
Light it up. Yeah.
We got a light.
It's coming down. It's coming down.
Come on.
Oh, it's slowed way down. Down to 3 engines.
Come on, bring it on home.
Dancing over there like it's nothing.
Come on, baby.
Yes!
Oh my. Oh my goodness.
Yes! Whoa!
I can't.
Oh my goodness.
Can't you? Every time I see this, I just don't like. I got nothing to say. That's so freaking cool. Like, dude, that's. That's Erebors, Zeet. That's Erebors' watermark. He's the guy that shot the footage for NSF, and this is used with permission. SpaceX just casually parallel parking a booster. Those booms were so loud, House, it shook the building me, Gene, Dawson, Erebors were on. It shook the Margaritaville Hotel. Dude, earthquake. Like, whoa. It shook the whole building. It was unreal. Can I? Can I just give me a second. Just give me a second. I need to see something. Just bear with me.
It's a coming. Adrian, it's approaching pretty quickly.
Yeah? Was that? Yeah? Yeah? Good? Didn't do anything? Meh? Alright.
Oh my gosh! Dude, that's nuts! Wow. That is nuts!
One more time, one more time, one more time in that order. Do it again? One more time, but count down at the beginning. Alright. That was really good. I can't play. I don't know how to play Freebird, man. I wish I did, because, like, right here, Lord help me, I can't change. Lord, I can't change. Won't you fly, Freebird? Yeah. Just insert the guitar solo right here. Yeah. I don't know. Is that good? That's good enough.
Yeah.
We got a light. Come on.
Oh, it's slowed way down. Down to 3 engines.
Dance, monkey, dance. My music degree approves. All right. RJ, what's up, dude?
You've been thunderstruck.
You've been thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. Have you spoken about the Boeing warning? Yeah, Ben, I did. I got the bad news out of the way so we could do the good news. Yeah, we heard the booms from the hot staging ring, dude. Oh man, dude, that's so good. You know what would be a better one to play? And I don't really know how to play it, but you guys ever seen the beginning of Iron Man 2? Right? The beginning of Iron Man 2 when they're playing Shoot to Thrill, and Tony Stark jumps out of the plane, and it's like he's playing Shoot to Thrill when he's skydiving. Shoot to Thrill would be perfect. I don't know how to play that. I think I got it. No copyright, YouTube. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I know.
Come on. Oh, it's slowed way down.
Hold on. Let me try something here. Let's try one more thing. One more thing.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. It's good enough. EJ Space and Guitar Solo Review. Nice pause, yes. Hey, nice pause. All right, that's... I want to hear EJ Originals. Riff for us. You're good. Not good enough. Here. This might not work with the footage in the background here, but here, last thing, and then we'll move to after hours. Right? I was learning how to play that the other day.
Oh my goodness!
All right, that's enough. That's enough. I'm having too much fun. We can't have too much fun with rocket science. We have to be serious. You know, who's using who? What should we do? Well, you can't catch a ship and a booster too. Can you play Immigrant Song? I'm sure I could figure it out. I don't know how to play it off the top of my head, but I thought that was an old Twisted Sister song from when they sounded a little punk. That was Jack White. That was the White Stripes. A bad rendition of it, but hey, whatever. Okay, one more time and then we'll get back to space stuff. Dude, just the cloud. Punching through the clouds is so cool. I gotta see that KSB booster catch. All right, Friday. I agree. We got to do it. We got to do it. Friday, we'll do it. Yeah. Friday. This is making me. It's making me want to do it. Yak White. That's right. Yes. No Stairway. Denied. No When the Levee Breaks. That's a good song, dude.
Seeing some paper on it.
Oh.
Come on, baby.
Come on, light it up. Yeah.
Light.
It's coming down. It's coming down.
Bruh. So, guys, interesting thing. Okay, so real nerd time for a second. If anybody's still here, I think a lot of people just left with the guitar stuff. You see all this? See all this right here? Methane. It's unburnt methane right there. See the dark cloud? It's unburnt methane because the Raptors are film cooled. They use the fuel to film cool it. So they're running these things really fuel rich. I mean, a lot of rocket engines do that, but they're running it fuel rich. So the Raptor engines don't melt themselves.
Oh, it's slowed way down. Down to 3 engines.
Come on, bring it on home.
Dancing over there like it's nothing.
Come on, baby.
Yes!
Oh my.
Oh, I'm going to Flight 8, by the way, whenever that happens. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, they caught a booster? They did catch a booster. Yes. Shy Gamer, you just found out that you can make underground reservoirs and make them watertight and timberborne. You know what that means, right? Water towers? You also need to fly the shuttle with the Firefly mod. You're one wild man. I'm trying. So you're saying Elon's rolling coal? Yeah, Falcon 9 especially. Why do you think it's covered in soot when it comes back? Rocket Guy, what was this other video that you gave us for... Oh, this is good. Yeah, this one might get loud as well. Let me see. Oh, that's dope. Okay, this is fine. Oh yeah, the birthday cake. I remember this. Is it dead? I'm not gonna lie, I'd try it. I'd have some. People wonder, or people ask me, like, oh, what happens if you stand too close to a rocket engine? Would it be bad? Yeah, picture that cake being you, and that's pretty much the end result. Yeah. Yeah, you see how it kind of just blew apart? Yeah, that. Yeah, that's, yeah, don't be near him. Yeah, Is that one of those prank candles that won't go out? Yeah. Oh.
Happy birthday, Max.
Oh. When was this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would try it. I'd try it. It's fine. Only the top is burnt, guys. Yeah, we've been over this. Only the...
Happy birthday, Max.
Yeah, thank you. My name's not Max. Like the turkey for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Rocket engines charbroil things. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's the right way to say it. Only one side of it is burnt. The rest of the cake is probably really tasty. You probably should have done that, though, with, you know, like cake mix and not the cake. It probably burnt it. It'd be like leaving a cake in the oven for too long. That cake ablated more uniformly than Orion's. That's bad. That's bad, man. Damn. Wow. Man, that's messed up. No lies, yeah. Lava Eagle YouTube chat approves. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay. And on that bombshell, I think that's good for space news. Oh my goodness. Here, let's take a look at Starbase Live here before we pop off here. Don't worry, we're doing after hours tonight. It's fine. I found your next t-shirt. Oh god. If we back it up a little bit, back it up. Because my daddy taught me good. We back it up a little bit. Ship 35. Look, guys, catch pins. See them? Catch pins. On the subject of rockets, Kratos is testing the Valkyrie engine again in a live fire test using Starlink. These are hypergolic boosters, or are these hypergolic boosters or SRBs? Loud warning. Oh, more emergence, you say? What the snozberries? I want the trailer. Those are solids. They're solid rocket. Those are solids all day. Can we just... Is it 36 or 35? I thought it was 36. Look at the smoke. All right, let me take a look. Okay, seriously though, headphone users. Headphone users. 10 seconds to comply. This is going to get loud, and a lot of stuff's going to happen real quick. I want the generator in the back? Yeah, me too. All right. You've been warned. Whoop, whoop. Oh, I can't play that. I can't play that. I want to play that, but I can't play that. I was like, why is there an engine going? Here, ready? Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Yeah. Oh, that's sick, dude. That is so cool. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying about the exhaust, Baron. That looks like all right, hold on 1 second. Just okay, that's enough. Fuel, I burn. Fuel is pumping engines, burning hard, loose, and clean. And when I burn, turn in my direction, quench my thirst with gasoline. So give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ugh. That good enough? We won't get claimed, hopefully. That's sick. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuel is on this. It could be some type of hybrid, but those look like solids to me. They look like solid. There's not enough stuff there for them to be a hypergolic motor. This is a loyal wingman UCAV. Yeah, the X58. Yeah. Or no, well, it's an MQ58 now. Yeah, Baron. I know what this does. Yeah, Baron, you ever played StarCraft? Protoss carrier. There's your carrier. Or there's your drone. Let me put it that way. We don't have the carrier yet. I mean, we do, but you get the idea. Yeah, so this looks like, I mean, dude, what's the burn time on this thing? Hold on, let me see it. Do we have it in real time? The burn time can't be more than 5 seconds. You would need tanks. You would need a pressure-fed tank, right? If it's hypergolic, you need a pressure-fed tank. You'd need a helium tank for your pressure-fed ullage, right? There's not enough stuff on the side of this thing for this to be hypergol. It could be some type of weird mixture, guys. This looks like it could be a hybrid. Let me see that cart that jettisons. Yeah. Why not solid? Well, Adversity, the flames from this thing are really... Like, see how the flames have an orange tint to them? I will tell you this. That's not HTPB and ammonium perchlorate. It's some special... It looks like it's some weird mixture of SRB. Air-breathing solid? For a 5-second burn, dude? Why? Just strap 4 Sidewinder missile stages to this thing and send it. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. What if it's like big butane lighters? You'd need a butane tank, Alex. The problem is we don't see any butane tanks here. It's Either that or it could be HTPB. It's just in a mixture that we don't. It could. Okay, so Baron, now that I've really thought about this, this could be in a mixture that we're not used to seeing. Why? Because of the short burn time, it could be a mixture that's burning basically stoic between your solid rocket propellants, because there's not enough time to melt these things, right? So an SRB, like other rockets, can run cool. You run fuel rich, you run with more solid rocket, you run more fuel than oxidizer, right? For cooling purposes, right? These could be stoichiometric SRBs. And if it's a stoichiometric SRB, the plume's going to look way different. But because of the short burn time, you can run stoichiometric. What are you going to do? Melt the motor? It's only burning for 5 seconds. If you built this up, you could straight resist the heat of SRB ignition and propellant, like SRB burning at stoichiometric ratios. That's my guess. That doesn't look like an SRB that we're used to because the mixture is weird. Because of the short burn time, you don't need to do something that would like adjust your fuel mixture. Well, in this particular case, how you cast your propellants in the propellants. Nice. How you cast your propellants in the casing. You probably can run stoichiometric for more energy to get the thing to push that whole thing up in the air. That's my guess. I would need Rocket Guy to confirm that though. They do look like hybrids, Trey. That's the thing. They definitely do. What if it was a solid lit by hypergolics? Why? What's the point of that? And it did shoot that damn Kratos off, which is crazy. It shot it off of a damn trailer. Look at how clear that flame is. That flame's very clear. That you're indicating a very efficient mixture. Like that's really, really, really efficient. Remember the Nike Sprint? I love sprints. This other test looks like it's an SRB. Let me see. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Yeah. Now, maybe it's just to light the main engine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see that? That's what the Kratos is supposed to do. See this thing? Remember how I said Protoss carrier? That's the carrier ship, or at least the brains. You know, people say, oh, F-35s, why do we have those? People don't even understand what the F-35 does. Imagine, if you will, flying an F-35 around and playing an RTS with Kratos drones on your displays. Yeah, you just... Why send the expensive plane in there? Just send that. And then there's also an F-22 over there. You think idiot? Yep. It's yeah, exactly, Tessa. Look at that, dude. There's a lot of nice hardware. There's a lot of things on this screen that I really appreciate here. TLDR, the F-35 is the queen bee. Well, the drone is the worker bee. That's correct, Nova. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, no, dude. They were cooking with the F-35. There's a reason why I like that plane a lot. Anyway, yeah, the other thing is that this camera exposure could be cranked. The camera exposure could be cranked to image the plume correctly. This is clearly an engineering camera. Or it just could have been the time of day. Oh, that's... Yeah, leave the F-35. Take the F-22. Yep. Mm-hmm. So this thing will sacrifice itself to save the F-35 and its pilot? Not if you told it to. O10, think about it like this. You could just Oh, look, we have long-range radar. There's a bunch of MiGs coming at us. Oh, instead of dogfighting them, send the drones after them. What are they going to do? Outmaneuver those? Nope. Does it land? Yes, the Kratos can land as far as I can tell. I'm pretty sure it can. Maybe not. Yeah, dude, the thing has a freaking payload bay. Look, it has a weapons bay. Nice, Baron. That's awesome. Everything can land, yeah. The orange exhaust is what's confusing you, yep. Drones don't have to keep the G-force down for a meat bag inside. Yep. 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 Dude, I'm telling you, man. That thing is nuts. That thing is like... Whoever thought of this was cooking, dude. And, like, look, you could just deploy a bunch of them off of a freaking trailer, right? Like, it just pops off of a damn trailer. So my question is, what's stopping, us from loading up a ship, like an amphibious assault ship or a landing platform dock with like 20 of these, putting them out on the flight deck, right? A Marine Corps aviator takes off with an F-35B, sends it, and then they just launch a bunch of these damn things. It might be, Liz. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look more into it. But the problem, like, okay, so at the end of the day, just final conclusion here for Space News. At the end of the day, I don't want to go looking into that damn sled. That's how you get put on a list. That's how you get put on a list. I don't know. It could be solid, could be this, could be that. I don't know. I don't want to know. Because if I knew, you'd get that knock on the door and be like, EJ, we need to talk to you for a second. Like, have 30 of them attached to a B-52. No, Trey. No, Trey. You're not thinking. That's a good idea, but your B-52 only has one or two pylons. Here. You're not here. There's a mustard video that I want you to see. And I'm not going to show the whole video, but also, no. Just hold for a second. Did you see that? We should do that. Yeah, 1201 is amazing. It's literally a flying aircraft. Well, not literally. It's actually a flying aircraft carrier. It is a flying aircraft carrier. That in KSP. I tried making Star Raker and the game took a dump on me big time. If you guys want to see this mustard video, I'll copy it and put it in there. Was it nuclear? Yep. Nuclear electric turbofans, as far as if I'm remembering right. I might be getting it confused with another vehicle. Wouldn't be the first flying aircraft carrier? Yeah, I know. Yeah, nuclear powered electric. So basically big electric ducted fans attached to a nuclear power plant in the back. People are going to say, well, EJ, what about the radiation? Dude, you see how big that thing is? It's fine. Trust me, they're fine with it. I dare you to make it in KSP. Dude, the game would... I can make that in KSP. The game would take a dump before I got it into the runway. Elon's partner, Siobhan Zillis, is the director of operations at Neuralink and also the chairwoman of Shield AI. They're integrating AI into an XQ-58, by the way. Hello. Never. It's too heavy. Yeah, I know. Oxygen, I know. They tried it with the RB-36. I know. I know, dude. I know. But I can dream, okay? It's pretty freaking cool. I can dream, dude. Don't crush my dreams, man. Yeah, they did try something like this once for the people that want to, the people that care. It was a variant of the B-36 called the, or no, not RB-36, the NB-36, excuse me. Yeah, the NB-36H, there it is. Yeah, they shoehorned a nuclear reactor into the back of a B-36. So it's definitely possible. Yeah, see the intakes that they put on the side to air cool. These are big intercoolers, basically. Well, not intercoolers, radiators, basically. They take incoming air and they use the cool air at higher altitudes to keep the nuke cold. It's doable, but the problem with the B-36 is that it's not big enough to put in the necessary rad shielding that you need to not turn your crew into ghouls. But the interesting thing is, like, now it's important. Another thing important to note that this nuclear reactor was not hooked up to any propulsion systems. It wasn't hooked to anything. It was just generating power in the back of a plane. But with a big enough vehicle, you could probably get it done. The thing is, Oxygen is kind of right, though. The thing is, the amount of thrust that you'd need the amount of electrical power that you'd need to get these things to turn, to make enough thrust to move that's a C5 next to it, by the way. I don't think we could put a nuclear reactor that's big enough in there that generates that amount of power. We'd need to generate 1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! Great Scott! Oh yeah, great idea. Bring 3 different fuels. Yeah, there you go. Also VTOL it, because it's not ridiculous enough. Yeah, I know, right? But also, come on. I still wish to see a commercial blended wing design. Yep. They put it at the back. Sounds like a tail-heavy situation. Yeah, the idea there was that they were trying to get it as far away from the people as possible. So they put it behind the bomb bays on the B-36. Bright, I have no idea how they got that thing to fly, to be 100% honest with you. I have no idea how they balanced that, but... Oh, really, Andrew? Nice. Modern hot reactor could be pretty darn small and produce a lot of power. Yeah, it could. Now, Tessa, don't get me wrong. It's like the G-Tels. Like, they made jet-powered trains or gas turbine-powered trains like 50 years ago and then ruled it out as being a terrible idea because 50 years ago the turbine technology wasn't where it is now, right? So they said, no, we're not doing that again, and nobody's tried it since, right? It's the same idea. I'm not saying, like, you could do it. It's just, I honestly think bureaucratic stuff would get in the way before anything. I love the G-Tel, dude. Me too, man. Me too. Can we keep the spicy rocks on the ground, please? No. Launch them into space. You need to go to Wright-Patterson and just see how big the B-36 really is. I've seen one. There's one at Pima. I've seen it. It's huge. It's huge. Like, it's like the Starship-sized fuselage almost. It's crazy. The Pratt version used indirect loops. Instead of combustor cans, heat exchangers moved heat into the compressed airstream. No need for making electricity. No way, Enginuber. That's a really good idea, man. That's a really good idea. Indirect loops. Instead of combustor cans, heat exchangers moved heat into the compressed air stream. No need for making electricity. That's a really good idea, dude. Man. Can we figure out how to make a combustor for this? Because I want to, you know, like, can we figure that out? I want to make a combustor. That's a good idea. What's that for? A combustor? I saw B36 Tessa at Pima. Right on the red caps removed before flight. Yeah. Nice. Is that for Freb? No. No, it's no, it's not. I did get all of the fittings. Just on a side note, guys, I bought all the fittings for the oil cooling mechanism in this, by the way. Yeah, I just need to figure out how to make a combustor. And then that's when the real fun starts. Wait, what the heck is this? It's a turbo. Why do you have a turbo? Because I wanted it. Turbine powered go-kart. Yeah. Is this a turbo pump? No. No. If we make a combustor for it, it could be a turbojet. Thing about it and why we can't do a turbo pump is because that's not really good at moving fluids. That's not good at moving liquids. This is good at moving air. That's why it's called a turbocharger, because it creates charged air. So what's that going in? I told you, a jet engine. I want to make a jet engine. Do I have to say this? How many times I got to say this? Is that sponsored by Summit? No, it's an Amazon Turbo. It was $100 because Amazon Turbo. It was $100. So what, are you not going to buy it? It's a GT35 ripoff for the people that are wondering. Can you weld? Yeah. Engine Uber, I have a Lincoln 180i welder. Better yet, I have a propane heater in the shop. I have a propane heater in the shop. That's all I'm saying. A propane heater. With a combustor. It is a axial swirl flow combustor. That's what a propane heater is. I should go buy another one of those so we can, you know. It's a good idea. You want to do an indirect heat turbojet engine? I mean, Engine Uber, we could. I could. We could do what you're talking about. We would need the combustor to generate heat. Or we could put the combustor in line with the flow, with the jet. Why wouldn't we just do that? I've seen a guy put one on a fire barrel, did a nice smoke show. Have you ever thought about building a rocket engine? You need to get the proper channels to do that. Jet engines, though, yes, I have. Twin turbo the Stang. Ace, we're not doing that with China turbos, okay? China. Timberborn for after hours? We could. I'm sure you could do solids. Well, yeah, I got some solids right here. Easy. Next time you play Timberborn, can you talk about districts? I struggle to get them to trade when there's plenty. Don't make new districts, Danny. Districts is basically an old feature. You don't need to do that anymore. You just got everything lying around. Well, yeah. Beaver time? All right, fine. Do you have a very high flow air compressor? Yeah, the front of that thing, can't see me, is a very high flow air compressor. So you take the radial compressor at the front of your turbo, route that into your combustor, take the exhaust, put it into the turbine, right? See where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? Just saying, we could regulate the flow with a pressure regulator in your propane line and go from there. You shouldn't do this. Leave the doing dumb things to me. And yeah, take a leaf blower to the front to start to spin the compressor. Yeah. Yeah, compressing the propane heater exhaust might go badly. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. How many PSI does that turbo make? Enough. Oh, I really want to think about that project. Damn it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. That's gonna do it for Space News. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The question is, how many PSI for how long? Yeah. Anyway. Got to figure out an oil pump for the turbo. It needs an oil pump because it's designed to pick up off the oil from the motor. So we're gonna have to figure that out. You recently said you think you could run a program to design a rocket. Building a turbojet would be a good analog to that. Yes. How much pressure? I got my copy of propulsion systems right here. You got any idea what is a good air to gas ratio? We could figure it out with a wideband sensor. We could figure it out with a wideband O2 sensor on the exhaust. I'm just saying, you might melt the wideband at that point, but you could figure it out. EJ, if you could add any one mechanic to Timberborn, what would it be? Pipes. Yeah, pipes. Think like satisfactory pipes. It would melt. You'd need an exhaust tap up. Yeah. Not if we put it far away enough from the turbine, it'd be fine. Designed to take exhaust. Thanks, EJ. Gonna take my beaver to bed. It's 1:15 in the morning. All right, Pat. Good night. It's a good idea. We should do that. Should do that, and we should have it generate power somehow. That'd be awesome. That's not a bad thought, IMO. An aqueduct would be a good compromise versus full-on pipes and such. Yep. And then you'd need a power wheel to make a pump that moves your fluid around. It'd be a pretty good idea. All right. So guys, I'm gonna switch over to Timberborn. We're gonna jog the VOD on YouTube. I'll be back momentarily. We'll get into the after hours now. Play a couple hours of Timberborn and call it a day. All right. Thanks for watching Space News. I'll be back momentarily.